Ask an Iron Maiden fan what their favorite song by the band is, and 11 times out of 10 they'll say Hallowed Be Thy Name.
Number 1. Hallowed Be Thy Name. Featuring 2 guitar solos, this single from The Number of the Beast is perennially named as one of, if not the greatest Maiden song ever.
You can't even introduce a track of this magnitude. To me, top 3 Maiden songs of all time, and very probably standing all by its lonesome at the very apex.
Now, what if I told you that that very song is plagiarized?
It's not a rip-off, it's a homage.
Now, I know at this current moment in time, this isn't exactly new news, as this topic has been around for a few months now. I'm honestly only doing it because nobody else seems to have bothered making a video on the subject, but I was actually unaware of the matter until about a week or two ago while reading through Facebook of all things. I believe Maiden had just announced the concert DVD, CD for the Book of Souls World Tour, and people were complaining about the lack of Hallowed Be Thy Name in the set list. I had actually shared the same disappointment of the omission of Hallowed Be Thy Name, and posted my own rant on the subject when Iron Maiden first announced the dogshit set list on the second leg of the tour. But what I didn't know at the time was Iron Maiden omitted Hallowed Be Thy Name because it's plagiarized. What song did Steve Harris steal? The song in question is Beckett's magnum opus by the name of Life's Shadow, written by Brian Quinn, who is known by his pseudonym Brian Ingham. Never heard of Brian Quinn or Beckett? Well, welcome to the exclusive club of fucking everyone. The only reason I even knew of Beckett at the time, or at all, was because Maiden had actually covered another one of their songs, Rainbow Gold, as a B-side to 2 Minutes Midnight, eventually released it on this kick-ass Best of the B-Sides compilation album in 2002. Catch your soul is willing to fly away. Beckett was a relatively unheard of band for many eons, which is a crying shame because their one and only studio album is outright exceptional. The vocalist Terry Slessor replaced Brian Johnson in the band Geordie after he left to replace the deceased Bon Scott in AC/DC, only to be fired 36 years later because he needed a slight break from touring so he didn't go completely deaf, and was promptly replaced by the single worst human being in music history. That is, if you're comfortable calling Axl Rose a human being. Yeah, fuck you very much, Angus Young. How much did Steve Harris steal from the song? Try pretty much everything. Hallowed Be Thy Name stole the lyrics, the last 6 lines of the song. Mark my words, believe my soul, it's all, don't worry now, that I have gone beyond to say the truth. When you know that your time is closer, and maybe then you'll begin to understand like an era just a strange illusion. But that's not actually the only song Iron Maiden even stole from this very song. You remember Brave New World, that masterpiece album that saved us from the evil clutches of the terrible singer Blaze Bayley in the 90s?
What did you think of the last line?
Suck!
Oh, come on now.
Blaze sucks!
That's not fair.
He can't sing for shit.
Yeah, well, the song Nomad. That little instrumental bit in the middle plagiarizes Life's Shadow note for note. Steve Harris's argument in court? We were only referencing Life Shadow. Look, Stevie boy, referencing and plagiarizing are two separate things. Look up the dictionary terms sometime on one of those magical devices the entire generation surgically attached to. Why is Brian Quinn suing the band now after 35 plus years? Your guess is as good as mine. His career probably flopped like Dave Holland's dick on a preteen's chin and he needed some dough to pay the lead bill. Whether or not Quinn will actually win the case, I believe it'd be justifiable if he did. This isn't just one of those accidental coincidences where two songs sound somewhat similar. This is word for word, note for note plagiarism, and the revelation has caused me to lose any and all respect for Steve Harris as a songwriter. However, this wasn't the only or final instance in which Maiden has plagiarized or at least slightly ripped off songs from other artists. Moonchild is UDO's Go Back to Hell. The bass intro to Blood on the World's Hand is Rush's Natural Science. The intro to Don't Look to the Eyes of a Stranger is Nirvana's Heart-Shaped Box. Speed of Light's guitar riff is a faster-paced Enter Sandman. Hell, there have even been instances where Iron Maiden has plagiarized them fucking selves. Most notably on their most recent output, The Book of Souls. The intro to Shadows of the Valley is nearly note for note to Wasted Years. Man of Sorrows, for my money, one of the better songs on the album. Slightly sounds like Virtual Eleven's Lightning Strikes Twice. Both songs written by the almighty Dave Murray, who's never written a bad song by the band. It's possible he had the tune stuck in his head and simply forgot that he already used it on a previous, less successful, underrated album. Hell, even on Virtual 11, the intro to The Klansman is eerily similar to Seventh Son of a Seventh Son's Infinite Dreams. Listen, Maiden, Steve Harris especially, you guys are my favorite heavy metal band of all time. Look at my shirt, for God's sakes. But it is painfully obvious you guys are losing any and all original thoughts whatsoever, seemingly since Blaze Bayley's left the band. How is it your quote-unquote worst vocalist and songwriter has continuously made far superior albums before and after he's even been affiliated with you? His work with Wolfsbane eclipses the works he did with Maiden, and his solo career has been consistently amazing to the present day, releasing quite possibly the greatest, darkest, most badass album in his 30-plus year career. While your last 4 albums have taken a nosedive off a 1,000-foot-high cliff into shark-infested waters, Maiden, ever since Martin Birch left, you've increasingly gone down shitter, and Kevin Shirley...
And don't call me Shirley.
...surely ain't helping matters. You guys need a producer who will sit your asses down, play your albums that catapulted you to the paragons of the new wave of British heavy metal to fucking begin with, and force you to cut an album that will annihilate any album you've made after 1988. I don't care if you have to steal Andy Sneap from Accept, or risk your polished production and cut an album with Rick Rubin, but please, fire Kevin Shirley, stop making songs that are 9 quadrillion years long and only have 2 guitar riffs in them, and most importantly of all, stop stealing from other musicians, and stop stealing from yourself. I'm Baphomet. Cheers, Metal Maniacs.
Change to the set list, but only slightly, just a couple of changes from what you did on the world leg of the tour and also at Donington too.
Yeah, we just wanted to mix it up a little bit, a couple of fresh things in there, just move it around a little, just shake things up a bit. I mean, obviously, great Unknown we're doing. Obviously, it's been online and people have seen it already, so it doesn't really matter me saying it. But yeah, it's just it's just nice to do a few different things.
Just don't lie to me. Don't treat me